All right, budget time. Nothing really new to report. I did get close to reaching my goal of putting $6,000 a month towards, what is it called? My student loans, my very first month. I think I would normally be upset about that, but I'm really not, because I still put a couple thousand towards it, so it's okay. I did have a really busy September and am going to have a really busy October, so I anticipate being back up to my goal within the next couple months, so that makes me feel good. But I really wanted the first month to be like, yeah, but it wasn't. But you know, some other things, I didn't actually do too bad on my grocery budget this last month, but I did kind of go over, well, I always go over, I did go over my restaurant budget for the month, because I've just been so stressed that grocery shopping and cooking just hasn't been a priority for me. So I've been like ordering in a lot, which isn't really healthy for me because I tend to like really order like fried stuff. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I think I'll definitely have to get back to meal prepping for the next couple months. I also think I'm going to increase my parking and Lyft budget, because I always go over those, and I guess it's just time to raise it. I am a homebody, so I don't really go out that much, but it's just LA. Like I spent $3 to park for 30 minutes to take the dogs to the vet. Like, what is that? That is fucking absurd. So it's just LA. So I think I'm gonna, for this month, change that in the budget. I did pay for car insurance and I did pay for my health insurance. So those, again, I pay quarterly, I believe, so I don't have to pay those off until next year, which is really great. But everything else was pretty mellow. I am gonna have to add massage and my physical therapist to my budget now, because I am so stressed out that my TMJ is just getting way worse. I didn't really anticipate spending, he's like $100 for an hour. He is worth it, and it does have to deal with my health. So I'm gonna add that and the massage, because once this tightens up, then this tightens up, and I already have back problems. So guys, you know what? I am just a mess. So we're gonna have to add those things into the budget, because sometimes I like can't even turn my neck or chew and stuff, so it's getting really bad. I do want to say something. I feel like you guys have noticed how stressed out I've been with my budget for the past couple months. You guys are there's always some kind of comment about like, I feel like she was on the verge of crying this entire video, or you seem so stressed out. And I try not to portray that, but I guess I'm not a really good actress and I can't hide my feelings. So yeah, I am. And of course, money stresses you out. I mean, I used to have anxiety attacks in the middle of the night about paying off my student loans, so at least I'm not having those anymore. But now it's just like in my final stretch of getting rid of this debt. So I'm definitely putting a lot of pressure on myself. Yeah, I read your comments, and I trust me, I know how much pressure I'm putting on myself, and I know it's unhealthy. Like physically and mentally, it's just unhealthy for me to do that, to put so much pressure on myself. So I have decided to treat myself along the way. So what I've decided to do, so not all of my money goes to student loans, and I feel like I can treat myself every once in a while. I've written down 4 things that I really want to have or to save up for during this entire process. And every time I get enough money to pay for one of these things, I'm gonna do it, versus just waiting till all my student loans are done to get all the stuff done. I'm going to do, I guess what you would call it, a sinking fund, where I would put money aside for these 4 things. There's only 4 of them. And once I reach the goal that I need to reach in order to get those, I'm gonna buy them for myself as a treat. These are separate from your big goals. So obviously I'm going to go more in depth in an upcoming video about my big goals, what I want to accomplish after I pay off my student loans. That is separate from a sinking fund. A sinking fund is something that you need to save up for the immediate future, whether it's like braces, or you know, we got to get the dog's teeth cleaned, or Christmas, like for Christmas presents. Those are things that you save up money for your sinking fund. I have 4 things that I want to treat myself to during this entire process. 3 of them I think I can absolutely do within hopefully 2 years. The other one may take a little longer just because it's a lot more money, but I'll share them with you. This budget video won't be as depressing as the other ones, okay? So the first one I want to do is laser hair removal on my legs. I did it on my underarms, I did it on my boop, and now it's time to finish the body off. I got my laser treatments, my previous ones, on Groupon, and Groupon has really great deals. You just have to make sure you do your research, and especially like a treatment like this, you want to make sure that before you buy, they are actually credible and do a good job. But I feel like I can get my laser hair treatments for about $300–400, and that's, I think, for maybe 3 or 4 sessions. So that's way more than half off, and that's something I'm going to save for. The next thing I want to save for is something called Everlywell. And what Everlywell is, Everlywell has a bunch of tests that you can take at home. Food allergy tests, cholesterol, STD tests. There's all these things that they'll send you a pack. You, I don't know, spit in a tube or get your blood drawn, and then you send it back and they give you results. There are 4 tests that I want to do, and that's probably going to cost me about $600. The tests vary in price depending on what you want. I saw one that was $70, I saw another that was like $200, so they range. I want to get the food sensitivity test. I also want to get a thyroid test. I want to get a woman's fertility test because I am in my 30s and I don't plan on having a kid until after I pay off my debts. So that's going to be until I'm like 33, 34. So I just want to make sure that as of right now, I'm still able to, you know, have a baby when the time comes. And then similar to that, an ovarian reserve test. Most importantly, the women's fertility and the ovarian reserve test are really important to me. So if anything, if $600 ends up being too much for me, those are the 2 that I really want to get. But ideally, I would also like to get the thyroid test and the food sensitivity test. Now, the next thing I want to treat myself to is a dinner. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love multi-course Michelin star restaurants. I don't buy myself expensive clothes. I don't buy myself designer bags or anything. However, I do treat myself to very expensive meals. I haven't done that in a really long time, so I am going to save up for one of the places I've been wanting to go to. One of my favorite restaurants in LA is this place called Bazaar in the SLS Hotel, and inside the Bazaar they have a little small restaurant. It used to be called Sam, but now it's called Somni. I believe it's like 20 courses. It's just like, I don't know, if you've never experienced a multi-course meal at like that level, it's just such an amazing experience. The attention to detail is incredible. Like I said, I haven't done that in a really long time, so that is something that I'm so eager to look forward to, especially because I've been wanting to eat at Somni since it opened, probably earlier this year. It's probably going to cost me about $500. That includes all the courses, plus I think I did a wine pairing because you want to just experience like that. So I think that also includes tip as well. So $500 for dinner at Somni, but if I can, I'd like to save up $1,000 just to be able to treat Brian to the experience as well, because he has been, I think, very patient with me. I don't feel like he gets why I'm doing it sometimes, and he thinks that I should treat myself more often. So this will be my thank you so much for being patient during this entire process. gift for him. And then finally, the last gift. Like I said, I think the first 3 things that I want to save up for during this process to treat myself, I can easily do within the next year. But the next one I feel like won't happen until after I pay off my loans, which would be cool because maybe this will be my like, yes, you did it. Now here's a designer handbag. I do have bags from Louis Vuitton, but they're fake from China and my mom gets them for me. But now it's time that I buy myself a real bag. That being said, I'm still not gonna pay full price for it. You know what I'm saying? There's a company called The Real Real, and they resell secondhand, lightly used designer bags, shoes, and clothing. I have used The Real Real to sell things, but I've never actually used it to buy things because I've never been able to afford anything that they have. Not to stress you guys out. Remember, this is like a goal for myself, to treat myself during this entire process. I think I've decided to put $5,000 aside. Do I think it's gonna take $5,000? I don't know, maybe. I mean, if you check out their website, or if you're in LA, they just opened a store on La Cienega and Beverly, I believe, or Melrose. Like their Chanel bags probably are about around 5,000. Hermes are like 30,000, and that's resale prices. So I'd rather save up more and still be able to get something that I want than save only $1,500 and then be stuck as to what I can treat myself to. Like I said, I think this will probably be the like, you paid off your loan, you're debt free, and you have a couple $1,000s to spend on yourself for your first designer thing. So it's gonna be a big deal. I'm not gonna like, I definitely want my first designer purchase to be, you know, a classic, something that I can pass down to my children and stuff like that. So I'm not exactly sure what I want, maybe like a Chanel or a Louis Vuitton, but I don't know, just like actually talking about that makes me really excited because I never thought I'd be in a position to actually buy designer anything for myself. So I don't know, that's really cool. And that's why I wanted to share with you guys this list, because I know that you guys see me getting frustrated, but I feel like now that I've put these little tiny goals along the way throughout this process will help me be nicer to myself. So my question is, when it comes to this, if you guys do participate in sinking funds, how do you do it? Do you put like a small percentage of your paycheck towards that, or is it just whatever you have left over goes into your sinking fund? And how does that work when you have multiple sinking funds? Do you do a little bit for everyone, or do you just do the one with the smallest first and get that done quickly, kind of like you would doing, you know, paying off your debts? What's the process? You guys let me know. And then with what you guys answer, maybe I'll do a separate video about it. But yeah, let me know how you guys do your sinking funds, if you do a sinking fund. If you're interested in checking out anything that I've mentioned, like Everlywell or The Real Real or Somni or whatever, I'll leave those links in the description box. And yeah, that's it. See, no tears this time. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your continued support, and I will see you guys in the next budget video. I'm Aisha Dang. See you later. Bye.